Hello, my name is Holly Riley, and this is my Field Experience D observation reflection. For this observation, I assisted my mentor, Mr. Ring, in his middle school math class. The lesson was about multi-step word problems. I was able to apply some of the interventions from my Field Experience C with 3 students who frequently need some additional math support. The lesson I provided support for was multi-step word problems involving sequencing and operations. This activity provided a wonderful opportunity to implement intervention strategies as these 3 students tend to have difficulty with organization, attention, and language. Before the lesson, Mr. Ring and I had gone over the strengths and the challenges of these students. All students had elementary computational skills, yet they became confused when faced with multi-step problems. 2 of the students required more assistance with sequencing and organization of their work, while the third had a more difficult time staying focused long enough to complete the task. One positive strength that they all had in common was that they were willing to attempt with support and were persistent even when they were frustrated. Together with Mr. Ring, I planned 3 interventions to implement in my Field Experience C plan. I implemented graphic organizers with step-by-step boxes to help the students stay organized in their work. I also implemented color coding for numbers and operations so students could easily identify what was significant in the problem. Lastly, I used guided modeling with verbal prompts to engage the student who had issues staying on task. We implemented these strategies because they supported the student in the area of support, organization, comprehension, and attention. I witnessed instant progress among the students when I walked back and forth while Mr. Ring instructed. The students were more systematic in their approach with the graphic organizers. They checked off each step, leading to less mistakes. The color coding clarified the task, with one student saying, "The colors make it easier to see what to do." The student with attention difficulties was helped by the verbal prompts to keep him on task. He still needed redirection often, but was on task longer and less frustrated. I now see that distributing the workload at a more manageable rate would have been beneficial. These students take longer to process and solve problems, and sometimes would still be working when the rest of the class moved on. I need to build in a catch-up time or have parallel problems to enable them to rejoin the class. I also want to fade the support so the students learn to use the strategies on their own. I believe one of the tools I could see families easily use at home is a graphic organizer. Parents could assist their child in breaking homework problems into smaller steps, checking off each step as they complete it. The graphic organizer makes big problems less daunting and provide sequencing at home to build independence. This lesson taught me the power of small intentional supports. As a future teacher, I will use graphic organizers, visual supports, and guided prompts consistently as scaffolds to access math for all students, not just those with IEPs. I also learned the value of collaboration with colleagues to match interventions to students' needs, as I did with Mr. Ring. Most importantly, I saw how these strategies can build student confidence, which is just as important as getting the correct answer. The use of these concepts during my time in Mr. Ring's class helped me better understand how to make math more accessible. Who face learning challenges. I will apply this experience to my own future classroom by considering both structure and flexibility to meet the needs of all students. Thank you for listening to my reflection.